But I'm going to meet with him. We're going to see what the parameters are. I'm then going to call up President Zelensky and the European leaders right after the meeting, yeah. And I'm going to tell them what kind of a deal. I'm not going to make a deal. It's not up to me to make a deal. I think a deal should be made for both. I think Russia has to get back into building their country. It's a massive country. I think they have 11 time zones, if you can believe it. It's a massive, it's by far, from the standpoint of land, it's by far the largest. They have tremendous potential in Russia to do well. They're not doing well. Their economy is not doing well right now because it's been very well disturbed by this. It doesn't help when the President of the United States tells their largest or second largest oil buyer that we're putting a 50% tariff on you if you buy oil from Russia. That was a big blow. And then they say, gee, he wasn't so tough. Nobody else would have done that. And I haven't stopped there. I mean, look, I was all set to do things far bigger than that, but I got a call that they'd like to meet, and I'm going to see what they want to meet about. I'd like to see a ceasefire. I'd like to see the best deal that could be made for both parties. You know, it takes two to tango, right? So ultimately, I'll have a meeting next week. I had a great relationship with him, considering the fact that, I was not nice to him because of the pipeline. I ended the pipeline. I also gave the javelins. Do you ever hear of a javelin? Javelin is called a tank buster. They say that Obama gave them sheets and I gave them javelins. If it weren't for me, all those tanks that were destroyed at the first days of the war because the tanks got stuck in the mud, some commander made a better they would have been in Kiev in 4 hours going down the highway. But a Russian general made a brilliant decision to go through the farmland instead. And they just had torrential rains, and the rains were so bad, and it was mud, and those tanks got stuck in the mud. I don't know who that general is, but knowing Vladimir, he's probably not around any longer because all those tanks were stuck in the mud, and they went along with the javelins. I gave them the javelins. You know that, right? I gave them javelins. They gave them sheets. But I'm going to meet with President Putin, and we're going to see what he has in mind. And if it's a fair deal, I'll reveal it to the European Union leaders and to the NATO leaders and also to President Zelensky. I think out of respect, I'll call him first. And then I'll call them after. And I may say, lots of luck, keep fighting. Or I may say, we can make a deal.
If not,
I will tell you this. I've seen a poll coming out of Ukraine. 88% of the people would like to see a deal made. And if you go back 3 years, everybody was gung-ho for war. Everybody's gung-ho for war until you have it. It's an amazing thing. I had it with a couple of countries where I couldn't get a deal done with one particular country. And I just couldn't. The guy's great. He's a friend of mine. Great. Good leader. Tough as hell. I couldn't get the deal done. And then he went into war for a short period of time. You know where I'm talking about. First term. And it was nasty. Guys being killed all over the place. And he went through 1 week of war, and I was able to get the deal done. He said, this is nasty. Yes, please.
Yeah, just to follow up. The short answer is with Donald Trump, change can happen instantly. And Donald Trump, like George Orwell in 1984, is not hesitant to rewrite history and pretend that what he said just a week ago on television cameras was never said at all. I mean, Donald Trump is basically not just the commander-in-chief. He is the airbrusher-in-chief when it comes to erasing inconvenient facts and his own past record. That said, first of all, while as a policy analyst, I personally wish that India did not purchase Russian gas, the fact of the matter is, Donald Trump is wrong in his targeting of India in this case. First of all, the United States purchases uranium hexafluoride from Russia and other strategic minerals from Russia. The United States often talks about Azerbaijan and Azerbaijani gas as optimal because it bypasses both Iran and Russia. But if you actually look at Azerbaijan, much of the gas that goes through their pipelines is Russian or Iranian, and the Americans are purchasing it. So someone needs to tell Donald Trump that he's being a hypocrite here, and India is right to stand up for its rights and not to cower. In fact, I do believe that Donald Trump, once he is gone, that U.S.-India relations will improve. But the fact that we are suffering the stress test right now, with Donald Trump being gratuitously insulting to India, and the fact that Prime Minister Modi is standing up for India's rights, is going to be the episode that historians remember, where the United States truly learned that you cannot kick India around. Donald Trump in this case is wrong, and the United States will work through that. As Winston Churchill used to say, the Americans always do the right thing. They just try everything else first. And this is one example of that. Once this episode passes, I suspect that U.S.-India relations are going to improve significantly because the United States is going to learn that it needs to respect India.